You know, you ever present something to somebody and you're like, it's obvious that you should switch, and they still won't switch. And so let's talk about the 4 mental hurdles that people have to get over in order to switch to your product or service. And right now, I think is a good time to get customers to switch to you. I know we're living through a tough time, but I think there's a lot of opportunities in this business right now, or in this market. Now, so here's the equation I use. You can just write the equation. This is my equation plus T. That's my equation. It's an awesome equation. I'm an engineer by trade, so I gotta have equation. So that's my equation. And so what I'm gonna do is go through this equation, and then we're gonna talk okay? Now, the first question that the customer has. First question is, if you want me to switch over to your product or service, is there a gain? That's what the G stands for. Is there a gain? That's the big one. Will I benefit from switching over to your product or your service? And you're going to obviously answer with yes, of course there's a gain. Now, we can measure gain in different ways, right? So we can say that there's a dollar gain, right? If they're looking for speed, there could be a time gain, right? If you're selling a service, it could be either one of these. If you're looking for revenue generation, give it a 2. We can help you increase your revenue, reduce your cost, and maybe reduce the amount of time. So these are different gains that we can actually position with our customer. We could do it in more time. For example, if you're offering a service, let's say pool cleaning, right? Then maybe you can do it faster. You can probably do it for a little less money, and you can do it faster. So, you know what I mean? That's a gain. My question to you is, what are the factors in your product or service that you use as gain? Is it money? Is it cost? Is it revenue? Is it time? Right? What is it? Do you recommend social proof to help move the needle? For example, play a video or an audio clip of a few happy customers or clients. Oh, Chad, the ad man. Great question. So Chad, in a presentation, like I said, I don't know the scenario, but the problem with doing video sometimes is that, well, first of all, let's talk about testimonials. Some people have horrible testimonials, like, you know how people just are not natural? So the first thing I would say is, yes, video testimonials can be good. Notice how I qualify that, can be good if you get the right ones. If you get the ones that says, oh, Chad, he's the greatest. He's the ad man. He really helped our business. We love him. You should work with him too. He's Chad, the ad man. You get those testimonials and people don't even sound natural, right? But if you can I would say the video should almost be like a mini commercial. Do you know what I mean? Like high produced commercial. Like I go over to the client's place, right? I bring, a 1-man or 2-person film crew with me, right? And we film what they're doing. Now imagine, I have a video. I wish I could pull it out. I should have. Maybe I'll do it next time. I paid $9,000 for a 1-minute video. This is a few years back, right? People told me I was crazy. $9,000, and trust me, I didn't want to spend $9,000. It's a lot of money. But keep in mind that at that time, I was charging $10,000 and $15,000 for a keynote or a workshop. So in my brain, I'm going, all I got to do is get one deal, and I got my money back. And so I had this highly produced. In fact, if you go to my website, victorantonio.com, you'll see it. It's got these little moving pictures. That's $9,000 worth. And that video has made me so much money. I mean, beyond, the $9,000 was easily worth it. So I would say yes, if they're well produced and they're I'm not saying well scripted, but they're well produced. Notice the difference is well scripted, you tell people what to say and people kind of go, they're just kind of, talking out loud. But well-produced means that you went over there, you filmed, you spend some time with the customer, and you produce this like 1-minute video that people go, say, okay, these guys really put together a production. So let me know if that helps, because I think that's the difference. That's how I would cut that, slice the difference. Can a young injury attorney, dude, you even dress like an attorney, man. Love it. There's a sales aspect of my career for closing a case settlement and even getting a client to sign with the firm. How can I best do that even though they know I'm young? Dude, what you do is, 1, admit that up front. So I got a program called Blocking Objections. That's one of the things I would recommend. Up front, I would say something like this, like, many of my clients think I'm young and therefore I can't represent them accurately or to the best of my ability or to the best of the firm's ability. And then you got to figure out a nice pitch after that. But if I can show you that I've worked on certain cases just like yours, would you be open to hiring a younger attorney? And again, remember that just because you're young doesn't mean it's a bad thing. It's only how you look at it, right? Because being young means what? Hey, you're probably more up to date on some of the new changes in the laws than most people are, right? You understand, you have a different perspective, Ryan. So I want you to kind of embrace the fact that young is cool, young is good, right? And then I'll emphasize that I got a bunch of old dogs behind me. So whatever I don't know, you're hiring me, but you're really hiring me and you're getting them. So you get the best of both worlds. Young guy with the energy to fight for your stuff, but also I got fallback in case I need help. I'll bring in the reserve. So that's why you want to sign with our firm. Some pitch like that, but embrace that youngness and say, here's some advantage to being young. Dynamic, learning, more aggressive, right? More energy. You know what I mean? You're just there. So find whatever that is that makes you different and embrace that thing. Superpower is being young, brother. But this third edition just came out, and I gotta say it, man. It's updated, it's current, and it's relevant. I want to begin by just showing you some of the things Art says not to do, right? So some of the things you shouldn't do are the following. Now, before I forget, if you haven't subscribed, you should subscribe. Hit that little bell right there. So, or right here, that one. You get the idea, right? Hit that little bell so you'll know every time I go live. And again, check out the Sales Velocity Academy. And so what I want to do is start out with, let's go into some of the things Art says you shouldn't do. You know, phrases to avoid, and I gotta laugh. I gotta tell you, Art, I laughed hard when I read some of these because, you know, I hate when people use these phrases on me. So when you said, here are phrases to avoid, so I'm beginning with phrases to avoid before I get into the actual formula that Art suggested. So I thought this was interesting. Phrases to avoid if you're making a cold call for the first time. First phrase to avoid is, I'm calling people in my area. Every time I hear that, I'm like, are you kidding me, by the way? I'm calling people in my area. I'm like, every time I hear that, I'm like, no, you're not. You're not in my area. It's like when people say, I'm just driving around. So, second one, I was just going through my records and my files, so I thought I'd give you a call. Now, I get that one. I'm like, really? So you just had nothing better to do and you were just crawling through your files. There's no reason to call me. You just had nothing better to do because you were crawling through your files. Again, this just builds zero credibility, horrible attention getters. I'm updating my database, and I thought I'd give you a call to make sure your number was still valid. I mean, these are horrible. So I was laughing when I was reading these as he was listing them. I'm calling to check in with you on blah, 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 blah. Again, people are busy, and again, they don't need this. You and I have never spoken before. How's that one for an opening line? Hey, you and I have never spoken before, but now we are, right? And then this one, as you can guess, this is a sales call. This is a sales call. I'm sure you can guess, Mr. Customer, this is a sales call. That one I've never heard, but if I heard it, I think I'd probably laugh out loud. This one, just wanted to touch base with you. Boy, by the way, Art really hates the word just in the book. If you're using the word just in the book, I'll let you go through the book, but he really hates when you insert the word just. Just wanted to touch base, right? Just minimizes the whole reason I'm calling you. I'm calling to see if you received my email, my brochure, my package. You ever get those calls? Hey, did you get this? Well, you know, again, it's not a great opener, people. Number 9, I'm with blah, blah company. Are you familiar with us? No. Goodbye. And my favorite, getting back, I'm not trying to sell you anything. Really? You're going to tell somebody? You're calling them, you're cold calling, and you're saying, I'm not trying to sell you anything. Yeah, you're trying to sell them something. Stop lying. So anyway, so these are the 10 phrases. Let me give you a little close-up of these. These are the 10 phrases. Art had some more in the book, but these are the 10 that made me laugh the most because I hear people say this, and remember that in selling, you should never be caught selling. What does that mean?